Good morning, everybody. So I am doing something so exciting today. I am going to the Etsy headquarters. It is their big Etsy Up event, and I get to attend it in person, which is so exciting. I'm in Brooklyn, New York, ready to head out, and I can't wait to take you along for the day. So here is the outfit, or as the kids say, the fit today. So I just got this amazing vintage inspired blazer. I love the caramel colored buttons. And I think I'm gonna wear this band tee underneath, even though this is what you see in the middle, which I'm like, do I want skulls? But you guys know me for my band tees, so it's definitely like authentically me. And then barrel jeans, and then some clogs, because I'm from Oregon now, and that's what people wear in Oregon, are clogs. At least these ones have like studs on them. So I think they look kind of cool with the outfit when I was trying it on. Oh, and then jewelry. I got to figure out what jewelry I'm wearing. Oh, I wanted to show you guys this. So I just got this off of Amazon. It's a jewelry organizer with these clear pouches. Love it. Love it. It keeps everything super organized, and plus it's really cute. And then also in here I have my tea as well, because I am married to a Brit, and now I have to carry tea everywhere with me as a result of being married to him. So in just a second, you'll see what this whole outfit looks like on. So it's in moments like this, I realize that I am not an on-camera, get ready with me type of content creator. I thought I would just show you guys the magic that is hot rollers, because a lot of people ask me how I get my bounce. And it is good old-fashioned hot rollers that you can get at the thrift store, usually really cheap, and that's where I get mine, is at the thrift store. So the problem with this set that I travel with is it only has 5, and that is not enough for my hair. And so I have to do something magical and old-fashioned, again, even more old-fashioned than hot rollers, and that is I actually have to do pin curls underneath. So actually you can see I have, well, maybe not, right here I have them pinned up in the back, and pin curls actually really work well. And so if you're ever in a pinch and you need some bounce, just pin your curls with bobby pins after you heat them up and dry your hair. So that's what gets my bounce underneath. Do I have one more? I think I have one more. So this is all for nothing, because it's humid in New York City. In about 2 seconds, all this bounce is gonna go away. But this is what my hair looks like after I take them out of the roller. Okay, so here is the final look. This is my new vintage inspired blazer, my barrel jeans, got my clogs on. Here's the jewelry. So I actually got this from Etsy. I won a contest, and this is what I use my gift card towards, was this awesome necklace. And so hearts are super in. I introduced you guys to this necklace, I think, in another video. And then I have just some other bits and bobs, secondhand pieces. This is one of my favorite rings that I own. It is a really cool rose, like a brass rose. Band tee, like I know it's extra, but I had like this mood board that I was working on for this outfit, and this kind of like how it came through. So I wanted to look more edgy than corporate. And when I put on like a normal black shirt and stuff, it looked so corporate to me somehow. So these are the details, like look at the buttons, like so good, so good. So I may be hot in this, but oh, and I thought I would. So you guys asked also about my lipstick. So it is, you can tell I don't ever do this. So it is Pure Color Cream Rebellious Rose Estee Lauder, or Estee Lauder? I never knew. So it's just a really nice dark, like red color. So, but is that even on, did I even do that on camera? I don't know. If not, there you go. So signature red lipstick look. So here's the final fit, as they say. So I am officially on my way to the Etsy headquarters. It feels so fun to be in the big city again. I used to come here a lot in my corporate days. I used to work in private equity, and so I was in New York quite a bit for events for the industry. Okay, you guys, I made it. Yay! I got here, and I'm sweating. like my hair is gone. The curl is gone, but I'm so excited. Being at the Etsy headquarters was such a pinch me moment. I felt so official with my badge and my adorable friendship bracelets. It was so fun to meet the Etsy team in person. These are individuals that I have been learning from for years, and I even got to ask a live question during their trend session. I don't know if you guys were in the audience and heard me. It was so exciting. Then we toured the building. It's an old pencil factory. I can't imagine going to work here. It is just the most amazing industrial space. They even have a craft room. Can you imagine having a craft room in your offices? That would be insane, like a literal dream. We all had our picture taken in front of that sign, and we got to go floor by floor, seeing the most amazing lounge areas and fiber art. The fiber art was on fire. Look at how amazing and detailed that was. And of course, so many plants. They actually have a special system that waters the plants using water that comes from the rain from the roof. And then speaking of the rooftop, this view was absolutely incredible. So just when you think the offices cannot get any more amazing, come out here and you get this view, which I am in love. And then the Statue of Liberty is literally right over there. I will put another clip on the screen so you can see it. Oh, it's so exciting to be here. And after an amazingly full day, I had a beautiful dinner right by the bridge with one of my fellow sellers. Good morning, everybody. So I am going to a vintage market today in New York. Now this one, I don't know if I'm going to get anything for you guys because I think it's going to be mostly like curated and just aesthetic and very well styled. So I'm not sure if there's going to be anything I can get with margin, but I always like to come and just see, of course, like inspiration wise, like what people are doing for their displays, and then also just what they're pricing their merch at, because it's always good to do comparables where you go around the world in stores and in retail environments, because that can help inform your own pricing strategy. So that's kind of the mission today, but I'm gonna take you along with me. So I just spotted this little stack of needle points and embroidery. I'm getting this one because I love it. And then this one, so styles I have not seen. And I like this one too, but I don't want to bring it back in my luggage. But this vendor has the most beautiful things, so I'm going to pan around her booth. And I think she also just opened a shop, so I will make sure and highlight her information. So this is the rest of her space. And of course I like the art and all of the interesting things. I've never seen this blue one before. Like I see a lot of Jaguars, but not that. And you guys know, always love these. Oh, I want to bring that home with me. Oh, and look at this bowl. Oh, look at that bowl. Actually, it matches like my sweater today. Like we would be twinning. That is a stunning piece. Wow. If I was home, I'd probably look at that just because the colors are so interesting. Next place, which is right near our hotel, is this warehouse of mid-century modern furniture and art. I think it's gonna be crazy. Love this older man painting. His ear is fantastic. Look at the poles on this piece. these, and then these. Wow, I am in love. I love shopping in places like this because just the setting, like the details in the store, like look at this door. It's insane. Like the hardware. I just want this door in my life. I also wouldn't mind having these chairs and this beautiful mid-century piece. So this is a tortoiseshell bamboo piece that has beautiful tiles there, and then the top is stone. What an amazing combination of materials. And then this brass rack here for your towel. So this store has 5 floors of amazing things. So much furniture, just the best furniture. There's so much art in the hallways. Like, look at that piece. I love it. That I can barely make it up the stairs without falling. Every stairwell has the most amazing pieces. Look at this line. I think it's carved from maybe a single piece of wood. This is what I mean when I have said don't sleep on museum prints, because they can be worth quite a bit. Another thing to never sleep on are these anatomy and medical models, like this one of the ear. People collect these. So I sent my husband back to the hotel to drop off my 2 needle points, and while he is doing that, I'm gonna go into Goodwill and see what the Goodwill is like in this area of Brooklyn. I imagine mostly clothes and expensive, but we're gonna check it out anyways. Well, I stand corrected. There is decor, like these brass planters. There's 2 of them on the new carts. So I feel like only in New York City would you find one of these napkin dispensers at a Goodwill. So this is my first time at a Goodwill that has this type of shelving, because where we are, we don't do this, but I see so many people thrifting across the country that it's all these black wire shelving units. So it's kind of fun to be in a different type of Goodwill. So I cannot believe this is happening right now. It's a human body in the box. So I'll have to see if all his parts are in there. But I was just talking about these types of things, and then $3.99, found one. And I have almost the exact same one at home that I just found at the thrift store like several weeks ago. So amazing. So he is very nearly intact. He's missing one body part, just like the one I have at home. If I was back home, I'd probably get this huge pedestal basket with the handles. It's awesome. It might be newer, but as a display piece, I think it'd be great, or on a kitchen counter in your home. So it had homewares, which was a fun surprise. I did not get those pieces, like the 2 brass bowls and the anatomy sculpture, because the line was so long. Like, I want to say it was 15 people deep, and there was only 1 person, and it was hot in there and loud. And I was like, I can live without these things, so I guess I will put them back and be on my way, which is hard because I hate leaving anything behind, but try to be, like, you know, smart about stuff. Plus, those items would complicate my packing a little bit because I would really have to try to fit them in, because I have not bought enough to, like, warrant another bag yet. So, and I leave tomorrow. So I'm trying to be smart while I'm on my trip. But it was fun to go into a different Goodwill. The clothing prices were definitely a lot higher. I would say, like, our jackets are maybe starting at like $7, and theirs were like starting at $25, and it didn't seem to matter the brand. So, but I was told that any type of clothing shopping at Goodwill in New York would definitely be more expensive than at home, which I expected. But it just was fun to kind of see, because you guys know me for Goodwill videos, and I actually have not shopped many Goodwills outside of the Pacific Northwest. So I did today. So we'll see where else I can manage to find some good vintage or thrifting while I'm walking around the city. So my dream while traveling here is to find something amazing on the side of the road in a box. Nothing yet, but I look in nearly every garbage pile. So it's another morning in New York City. I am going to the Brooklyn Flea today. So I'm not sure how big it is, but hoping to find maybe something little for my son because I don't know if I can find anything for me because of the space in my bag. So I'm at the point where I would have to check a bag, which I hate to do if I don't fill up a bag. So we'll see what I get. So we're back home in my studio space, and my trip to New York was fantastic. I haven't been in New York City in ages. I used to go there a lot on my corporate days, and it has been a while. Spent a lot of time in Manhattan, but this trip, I actually spent a lot of time in Brooklyn, specifically DUMBO, because that's where the Etsy headquarters is. So they have the most amazing view of the bridges. Oh my gosh, that view. I did a lot of dining along the waterfront there, and the lights at night. It was just absolutely magical. So the main purpose of my trip, of course, was to go to the Etsy headquarters for their Etsy Up seller event. I attended in person, so it was really fun to watch the broadcast, being there in the building, sitting next to other sellers and connecting with them, learning about their shops, and also learning a lot about handmade sellers and how they navigate the platform and use the platform is different than someone like me who is a vintage seller. So it was really just fun to be around people that have different businesses than myself, but we're all using the same platform. So I also got to meet in person some of the Etsy team that I worked with at the beginning of the year. So in case you're new here, I was asked to host a workshop for vintage sellers who use Etsy as their main selling platform. And so that's actually hosted on the Etsy Success YouTube page. And that was so much fun to do earlier this year. And I worked with, a few team members who I'd never met in person. So I actually got to meet them in person when I went to the headquarters. So that was really fun to connect with those faces and the people that I worked with so much over the weeks leading up to that workshop. So that workshop is still available on their YouTube page. So I'll link it down below. So if you ever wonder what a day in the life would be for me, from sourcing to shipping and beyond, like I did an entire workshop that showcased that whole experience as a vintage seller on the Etsy platform. So you should definitely check it out if you haven't watched it. So every time I travel to a new place, of course, I want to go thrifting and vintage shopping. And I did do that while I was there. So I went to a market called Not a Normal Show, which was super curated. It was very expensive, and it was largely closed, which is a bit of a bummer. Now, I did get 2 amazing needle points. I'm gonna show you those up close. You saw them in footage, but I wanted to show you them in person because the detailing was really, really great. And then I also went to the Brooklyn Flea the morning that I left. We stopped there. I got another needle point that is amazing. So I came home with 3 needle points, and that is basically it. Oh, and then a bell. A single brass bell. So not an amazing haul. I did go to a few vintage stores. I also went to Goodwill. Everything was kind of expensive, and there was nothing that I really wanted to bring home that really spoke to me. But you guys know I love needle points. So anything embroidery, needlepoint, crewel, I lose my mind over. And it's something that's just so hard to find. You guys know this. I'm always looking for them. And so anytime I tend to find them, I tend to buy them. So this one absolutely caught my eye because it is very vintage vibes. The florals, the color palette are great, and I about lost it. And then behind this one was this one. And the framing on them is both really good. This one is definitely, I'm assuming like, I don't know, Greece, Santorini, like where is this place? But I have never found this one before. So finding two pieces that I've never found, I always want to buy them because when are you going to find them again? So I definitely paid up for these. So these were at that vintage market. The seller, I'll put her information on the screen. She actually has watched my channel before, so it was really fun like connecting with her and just telling her like her space was great, and you know, I was so excited about these. So it's always really fun when I can buy from someone who watches my channel. It's just like an extra special connection. So I fell in love with these and her booth. I'll put her information on the screen. And then the other needlepoint that I got, and this was at the Brooklyn Flea, which also again was largely closed, is this one. And this actually was technically like outside of the Brooklyn Flea borders. This person was like a little bit down the block, and they had the most amazing like antiquities type of pieces. The pricing was good. I think he only took cash, which was tricky because I did not have much cash on me. But this one, I could not believe that I got this. I mean, the frame is good. It's like this gold, like bamboo style. And then look at the stitching, especially right here. Now there's a little bit of, like there's some flaws here because it is so old, but I just love the variation in stitching, and it's just the subject matter insane. Like I did a Google Lens and I did not see another one of these come up, so I got to do a deep dive. So I don't know if this is someone's like actual like work or if it was a kit, because so much of this stuff was actually like kits back in the day. So I lost my mind over this. So this was, I think, 42. So you can see I kind of paid up, and then these two together with tax, because you got to pay tax, I think was like 130. So definitely not the typical prices that I would go for, but I was shopping at events where the pricing was largely retail. But I had to get these pieces because they just were so special and good. And so I haven't decided where or if I'm going to sell these because they're just, part of me wants to keep them, so I got to decide that. So they may or may not be listed in my shop, but just know because I paid up for them, the pricing will be a little bit more, but I still think there's room and margin because, like I said, I have never seen these styles. Now this one may have to be a forever, and I know I'm going to break some people's hearts. I can't bring myself to let it go because when I saw it, I was like speechless. The other two, I was like, oh, I love these. But this one literally took my breath away. And everyone that I've showed lost their mind over it because it's just one of those things. I feel like lately I have been finding a few like art pieces that just have like knocked me over. They're so good. So I came home with these. One of them I was able to put in my luggage. And then the other two I had to bring on the plane with me. And so in all my years traveling to New York City, I actually had never been to the Modern Art Museum, which is crazy because I love art museums and I love modern art, clearly. So as a collector and seller now, I made a point to go, and I spent hours in that museum just studying all the art, going up close, looking at all the brush strokes, and I was really geeking out while I was there. I'm sure people watching me were like, wow, she must not get out much. Because I was like, basically everything. My husband was with me, and I was like poking him, like, look at that piece, look at this piece, what do you think of this piece? No, you need to go closer, look closer at the art. And he's, bless him, he knows I get really like hyped up and crazy when I get around any sort of artwork. And so he knew that going to the museum with me. But we spent hours there. It was fantastic. And I also made a point to look at how the pieces were displayed, especially the mixing of different styles and different artists, in like separate rooms.
And then also looking at how they were framed, because oftentimes I'm buying art. I'm trying to find a piece around me this is not what you would see at the museum there. But you know, we find a lot of art that is unframed, and it's interesting to see the different ways modern art is framed in terms of floating in frames. And so I was like showing that also to my husband, like, hey, look at the way these pieces are framed, because this is what I would like to do to a lot of our pieces to elevate them. Because of course you can put art like this on the wall without a frame, but it really makes it look like it's museum quality when it's framed, and also framed appropriately for the actual type of art it is. So modern, you know, art is usually framed in thin, floating frames, where pieces like this are often put into something a little bit more ornate. So I wanted to like just educate him too. Like, this is what I envision when I say I need your help using our tools to make frames for our art. This is what I mean. This is what I'm envisioning. So it's just a really helpful trip just for us. And then also, as I'm buying art for our own home, sometimes I'm like, I don't know if he's gonna like that or not. You guys hear me say this all the time. I'm like, I don't know if my husband's gonna like this. You know, because I want us to both enjoy the art in our home. Now, I usually buy a lot of what I like, and if he likes it, that's great. But, you know, sometimes I just like, this is too good not to have, and if you don't like it, just close your eyes. But usually I like to be, you know, I like to compromise a little bit. And so when I take him to the museum, it's helpful, because then I can see, oh, okay, you don't like that color palette, but this color palette you do like, and I never would have thought that. So it was helpful on so many fronts, from like a business perspective, just me educating myself on modern art, and then also just educating myself on what taste my husband has and what we both like and enjoy together. So just going to the museum, it's just, oh, it's so fun. After I left, I was like, did I spend enough time there? I almost wanted to go back and relive the whole thing again. So I think I'm going to have to, anytime I go to the city, I'm just going to have to go there again. But of course, you know, the exhibits change. You can see how excited I am talking about this. It's just like gets me so excited. I absolutely adore going to any sort of modern art museum. It's just one of my very favorite things to do. And I also got to see Starry Night in person, which was really fun. I don't know if Starry Night by Van Gogh is there often. I just had always assumed it'd be in Amsterdam at the Van Gogh Museum, but it was in New York. So I don't know if I saw like a special like exhibit for it, because I know there's certain big famous pieces that, you know, make the rotation around to the different museums around the world. But that was really exciting to see that up close and personal too, especially since I found a piece that was very Van Gogh-esque recently, if you guys may recall. And so it was really fun to see his work and then compare and contrast. Obviously his work is better than the one that I found that was inspired by him. But it was all around an amazing trip to the museum. Okay, so that is what I have to share with you from my trip. I learned as I was filming and trying to do like a come with me to New York City video that I am terrible at those types of videos. I am definitely very much like tips, like business focused videos, or thrifting, styling videos. But a day in the life or like a travel vlog is something that I need to learn how to do better, because the whole time I was doing it, I was like, this feels awkward. And especially doing any sort of like get ready with me, because I was trying to do that because Etsy was like hoping that we could all produce some day in life content. I actually managed to put together a reel, which you guys have seen already. So anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you in my next video. Take care.